Right, so as I said in the last video, we decided to do a Nex Duo with mainly using the Bakriminel Bolts. So obviously we had no idea how good they were going to be. So we brought rubies too, and as you'll see later in the video, I had to use them for the blood phase. But as you can see, they do hit pretty good. They're not hitting just zeros, but obviously the specials don't work because the specials are made for like head, torso, and legs. But obviously you can't really identify that on a monster most of the time. A lot of the monsters obviously don't have legs, some don't have heads. Well, they'll probably all have heads, I don't know, but you know what I mean. So they do hit pretty good. Now I have to say they hit better than diamond bolts. Now they don't hit better than rubies, but that's simply because of the special. If like Bakriminel Bolts had a special for like monsters as well, it possibly could beat rubies. But I mean, the ruby spec is so damn good that it's just, no matter what they do for bolts, it's rarely gonna beat ruby bolts because of the fact they can hit 500s every special guaranteed hit. It's just impossible. But as we can see, we're using them now and we're all getting quite good damage. It's not too slow. So then we got an Umbra, just rapiered Umbra. Now the first minion we just rubied because I didn't want to waste the bolts, because obviously the bad thing about the bolts is that they destroy on fire. Basically on normal bolts they'll drop to the floor and your AV as an accumulator can pick them straight back up. However, with these, they disappear. Like, firing one bolt loses one bolt, no matter what. It's the same as like casting spells, unless you're using like a Staff of Light. So then we've got the blood phase. Now, the Bakriminel Bolts really did hit good on the Reavers, but on Nex it just wasn't good enough to do the DPS. So, as you can see now, it's like we're struggling. It's not doing enough damage, and it's just Nex is just healing up and higher and higher. So we decided to start using rubies on Nex as usual, and this did get it down. So the Bakriminel Bolts, however, we were switching to kill the Reavers with, and as you can see, they really hit good on the Reavers. You can 2 or 3 hit more. You can generally get the Reaver down so fast, and that really helps the blood phase. I mean, we took quite a while on this blood phase because of the fact we let it heal quite a bit first. And after a while, we're doing pretty good now. Like, we got it down pretty fast, and then we just randomly stopped hitting. But the ruby specs just make it so damn good. It's just impossible to beat that unless they release another bolt that does the same spec, but with higher strength. It's not going to happen. But because of the fact that Bakriminel Bolts is made for PvP, obviously the special doesn't work here. And however, they still have the great stats, and this stat beats the diamond bolt by quite a mile, and that's why it can pretty much match it and beat it. And obviously the diamond's got a spec, but pretty much the diamond has to spec to match the Bakriminel Bolt. The diamond will only hit like 400 plus on spec most of the time. But as you can see, we're eventually getting Nex close. You can see it's about almost there to the next phase. But so we carried on. We're using nips on the Reavers too, because that helps a lot. Because the more time you spend on Nex in between each siphon is what makes a difference. Wow, and you can, my IRC is going crazy. People are pinging me. Holy shit. Like, proper spammed there, holy crap. So, as you can see, eventually did it. Claw spec, I did a hero claw spec to get out of Crow. But then, guess what? My friend DCs, and I am sitting here soloing, and yeah, that wasn't fun. So, I was tanking a lot of damage. Eventually managed to kill Crow using Rapier, and I thought, should I get on the Ice Phase? And I thought, yeah, let's just do it. And basically I had to tank all these prisons, because you can't let yourself out. So I had to sit there taking the damage, but I did do some decent. I was using Bakriminel Bolts, but I thought I'm going to be brewed down. I better use rubies, because even though you're brewed down, you'll still ruby spec every so often and hit a decent hit. So therefore it seemed better. And I decided to run over here just because I knew my friend had DC'd somewhere over here. And then he eventually managed to log back in, which is very annoying. I mean, kind of ruined the kill a bit. But then we went back to Bakriminel Bolts, and as you can see, they do hit. They are pretty accurate because of the fact they're so good in stats wise. Like, the strength means they do hit pretty good hits. It's generally 300, 400s and stuff. Eventually we got Ice Phase down and then got onto the Glacies. But now, obviously, on the Zaros phase, doing a Nex kill, you use diamonds normally instead of rubies. Now, this is because ruby spec starts hitting below 500s because of the fact it's based on the amount of HP Nex has left. We tried to lure this phase, like while we killed Glacies. Eventually we managed to get some of it, but we kept messing it up. But Glacies is easily the hardest minion to take down without like getting attacked. It's such a nuisance. But the Bakriminel Bolts, because of the fact you're not meant to use rubies on Zaros phase, they're only good when you brew down because of the fact you can still spec. So we used Bakriminel Bolts, and we expected them to be better than diamonds, and as you'll see now, they really are. Like, we claw spec and then obviously switched to Bakriminel Bolts, and as you can see, they are hitting pretty damn good. I mean, diamond bolts will generally hit sometimes and hit a lot of zeros, and then the specs all hit decent. But these bolts are these seem to hit really good on this phase. They honestly hit good. Now my friend asked for a bruise there because he tanked the full blood phase pretty much. So I dropped some, but they did work really well. So I think as a conclusion, really, that the bolts are better for the reavers because they really hit hard on the reavers and they can help you, especially in small teams and on Zaros phase. However, obviously the disadvantage is the cost at the minute. Obviously they're costing like 5k in the G at the moment, but I assume they'll be coming down, and hopefully they might be better than diamond bolts. Now obviously you can't pick them up, so that's another disadvantage, but they should be good in duos and trios. So thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.